15 of the ARC Formula 1 Championship. Today we're here with the Russian Grand Prix, and qualifying is just about to begin. It literally just started, so there's nobody on track yet. I see Mercedes is first to leave the pits. Oh, never mind. Dylan Swiss Carpenter is going to be the first one to the pits, in fact. So we'll put the camera on him as we go through all the outlaps. Maybe not. I think we have a couple of drivers making debuts this afternoon. The first of which is Caden Bright, one of the new drivers for our Extreme Racing team. And, oh wait, that's it, never mind. I forgot that, I forgot that Luke Treloar has been in an F1 race before, just because I forgot his name earlier by accident, because I'm not familiar with... He hasn't been here long, so... Oh no, we do have one, it's, Mo something. I might butcher this last name when I read it. I think it's like Alte? I think it's Alte. Mo Alte? He's the other one making a debut. He's debuting for... I don't even remember the name of this team. Oh, is it Full Contact Racing, I think. Not the best name for an F1 team, but we'll allow it. I guess. Because we don't have no choice. So here comes Swiss Carpenter to begin the first qualifying lap of the day. A very long straightaway into turn 1. And then, as I had said in a joke earlier, that turn 1 pretty much emulates what happens when you try and put a soda can in a can crusher. This is certainly going to be one of those big tracks too, where because of the openness of the track layout and the fact that it's really high speed and really precise layout, there will be a myriad of track limit penalties probably garnered during this race by most of the drivers. And that also means that by the same degree, qualifying laps, valid ones at least, are going to be much harder to come by, as you're going to have to work a little harder for them. This is also a track that is infamously known for not really being the greatest for wheel-to-wheel action due to its high-speed, precise nature, which doesn't really lend itself too well to overtakes, or even wheel-to-wheel racing at all, so we'll have to see how much that holds true. And the provisional lap, never mind, right in the last corner, Swiss Carpenter has denied his own lap. Same thing applies for Caden Bright. He will not get a valid lap, so it'll instead be Dylan Von Alzen from Ferrari, my team, who runs the first valid lap of the session, a 31-1. Could barely read the number. Luke Treloar was right behind with a 31-2, and then we had Mo Alte with a 32-1. But there goes Tristan Adams, also for Ferrari, improving the pole time by over a second with a 30.1. Carter Ritchie gets up there with a 32-1 as well, only 9,000th off of his teammate. Well, I'll just wait for more laps to come in, put the camera on one of the heavy hitters that are on a lap. Edric Nichols just started his lap. I may as well put the camera on him and see if he runs a smooth lap. Because Mikey De Jong is on medium tires, so he won't be, he shouldn't be competing for top of the charts yet anyway. There's a yellow in Sector 1. That looks like that could be like a Haas or an AlphaTauri, but I don't... Oh yeah, it would be probably Matthew Stotts, who's the only vehicle in that section. I'm very scatterbrained. I was like indecisive on what car to follow, so we'll put the camera back on Age of Knickel as he rounds the last corner of Sector 2 onto the DRS straight away. And this is the only prime passing zone here into this corner. The only place that's wide enough for multiple cars, but then you still will have to hang it around the opposite lane that you dove onto in the first place. And there's conversation upstairs. So that's great. Heading through the last couple of corners. Here comes he has also invalidated his lap, so we will have to disregard that. There's nobody on a valid lap right now. Everyone's either in the pits or their lap is currently invalid. We have Lee Kelly on an outlap, so this might change, hopefully. Great. Well, that's gonna be annoying. I'm gonna be interrupted mid-commentary here. Huh. Like an hour? And here comes Lee Kelly now on his flying lap. I think it's his second attempt. Yeah, either he disregarded his first attempt, either because it was invalid or because it wasn't good. I'm not really sure. The camera wasn't on him at the time, so. Front-running qualifiers are on out laps right now. Excuse me, I've forgotten how to English. That's what everyone comes here for, right? They come for the Rikerisms, my inability to speak proper sentences at times. Takes a true man of comedy to embrace them and make jokes about how bad I am at English. I'm getting deja vu here. And dive into the only other heavy braking zone on the track, basically. Yeah, it stands to reason that I'll probably have to mute my mic or cut the stream or what have you towards the end of the stream if they get here. And the last corner claims another victim. We only have 5 valid laps. Nobody else has been able to make turn 1 and keep it on the track. This is just insanity. Alright, here comes Mikey De Jong on his outlap. Or no, this is his hot lap, not outlap. Oh my god. Ugh. Must be the heat making me lose my mind. I guess that's why my grandparents are coming out to install an air conditioner. Anyway, purple in Sector 1 or 2, but we all know that can be a lie. I can probably take that off my screen now. No, Mikey, please. Love of God. Make it through turn 1 correctly. And meanwhile, I saw just now Cameron Dowds went on to second on the board with another 30.1. Mikey jumps to 6th with a 31.6, however that's only with mediums. He's probably way faster than that. Well, probably he is. I know he is. He's won multiple races this season. Comes Matthew Stotts for his next qualifying attempt. He's just coming off of a podium finish in second place finish, no less, in the F2 race. And he is reserving for Travis Van Oostendorp, who has not been able to attend today. Weird shifting going on. Looks like Dylan Von Olsen is also on his next flying lap. I can only assume that one lap is just because he's reusing the same tires. Kyler Boggs is about to finish up his medium tire lap. He will run a 32.3. That is bottom of the valid lap so far, but that's also on mediums. Mediums to softs is a valid strategy here, considering the nature of tire wear around this circuit. I didn't even notice that Liam Carreg was out of the session. I don't know if the game told me this, or if I just wasn't paying attention, or what the case might have been, but I apologize for not really noticing that. I think Matthew Spots may have made a mistake based on the way he just took that corner. He probably doesn't have a wing anymore. I have to. Clearly, the universe has decided that I will not have a room to myself for this commentary session, so we're just going to have to live with that, and hopefully it goes away before qualifying. Mama just coming here to comment on the fact that I have my fan off while it's like 80 degrees in the house. Unfortunately, I don't have a choice because it's so unbelievably loud that I'll pick up on the mic and it'll sound like I'm talking to you through a hurricane. A comparison I've already heard multiple times. And I'm on board with Carter Ritchie here as he completes his next qualifying lap. Let's see what he runs. It'll be a much improvement, a 31.3. We'll jump a couple of cars that lap. AJ Kaneko on his fast lap run a 31.2. For reference sake, pole in F2 was a 31, it was a 30 or 31.6, which I think it was a 30.6, which would already have put Connor Setchell, the pole sitter in that race, fourth on the grid, and he's in F2. So I would hesitate to say this is an impressive showing from the F1 pack up to this point. Comments, and look at that next time I detect that there's a lack of things going on the screen. Looks like AJ might be trying again here. Another go for another lap. No. Ooh, well, he got his lap in. The 31.1, and then he looped it. So that's going to create an interesting hazard for anybody that might be coming through the last corner right now. But I can't detect anyone. There was someone, but I couldn't tell what it was because the map is so... I think it was Parker. Let me quickly look at this comment. Oh, it's Billy Targy. Yeah, Mo is currently subbing for Billy Targy, who didn't race, so he's in the chat rooting for his drivers. I think Mikey has just embarked on his next qualifying lap. This time he's on the soft, so he's now actually, trying. Just run all over that curb. I usually don't like hitting curbs at any point in time in this game, but I don't know, that's just me. I've been tossed by curbs too many times to just abuse them like that. There are caution sectors all over the place. The top right, and that's an invalid lap for De Jong. Which means he may do that. These are confusing times. I guess he's trying to get out of the way of somebody, but I think that was a little bit overdoing it. That wasn't a warning, okay. Alright, F1. So now Mikey is going to have to settle with that medium tire lap that he ran, which isn't the end of the world, necessarily. He just needs to have a very good stint on them after everybody else is pitted in front of him. Because he isn't going to be making up too many places during the race itself. Here comes Caden Bright to begin his next flying lap. He already has a 31.1 on the board, but I think at this rate, with the way things have progressed, just having a valid lap is an accomplishment. Especially so if it's in the 31s or 30s. And speaking of valid lap, somebody just moved. I would assume here it is Swiss Carpenter, who just went to a 31.0. And he's now giving his teammate a bit of a slipstream. His teammate, Lee Kelly, championship leader, but has still not managed to make a valid qualifying lap, despite having made 3 attempts so far. He's purple in the first sector. And, he's been pretty much right on the limit through every single corner so far. You can actually get more slipstream off of this car ahead of him. I'm not sure who that is. That would be, Treelor, who has to break out of the way. And another purple sector for him. If he completes this lap without invalidating it in the last corner again, he's almost certainly on pace for a low 29. At least the mid, if not low. Indeed, it is a 29.62, taking pole by half a second. And, well, if he didn't have damage before, Dylan Van Alzen certainly doesn't now. He does crucially get out of the way of Tristan Adams, who is on his own flying lap, and he just ran a purple sector too, but I mean, we'll have to see if that's actually true or if the game is just lying, as it's known to do that. I believe it. Here comes Tristan Adams, beats by 8 thousandths. And I don't think Lee Kelly has any offering for that. So unless Swiss Carpenter here can pull something right out of his back pocket, I think Tristan Adams is going to be your pole sitter for the Russian Grand Prix. At some point, Kyler Boggs improved to a 31 flat. AJ Knickel is driving like he's on a lap, but it's invalidated and the time is run out in the session, so I'm not really sure. Okay, he's not on one because he didn't activate DRS. I guess his AI is just hauling. Luke Treelord is... No? Who was that? Oh, that must have been Carter Ritchie. Moves to 7th with a 30.9. And now I'm not sure what we're waiting for. There it is. That age's best qualifying performance, only started in P10. However, it's still certainly a better alternative to his teammate, who didn't even get a set lap. The same story for Christian Pacheco and Matthew Stotts, who also did not run qualifying laps. So there's a grid order, an intense contest for pole. But it's pretty much divisive for the rest of the field. Only two other cars within a second. And then it is pretty thinly, or pretty evenly spread amongst the next, like, 10 cars. So, I think we have, like, our big four, and then we have the rest of the field. Unless there are some surprises in the midfield, perhaps Mikey on his medium tires might stir up surprise results, but I think the battle is probably going to be between Lee Kelly and Tristan Adams for this win, barring unforeseen circumstances. So now we just wait for the formation lap to begin, as I'm currently using a fly swatter to cool myself off because I have no access to a box fan right now. And here we are. And here we are. Unlike the F2 race, I assume the formation lap is actually on this time. Yes, it is. So there's this predicted strategy, but in all reality, tire wear is hardly that much of a concern here. So, soft tires can go more than 10 laps. They can go like 15, probably. At least 12. Obviously, you wouldn't want to pit any later than 13, because unless you're on medium tires to start with. Which right now, the only ones in that position are Johnny Parker, Mikey DeJong, and the bottom three. Hard tires are basically a death sentence here. You don't want to be on them by any means. Because the mediums and the softs don't really have that much better tire wear than the hards, but go considerably faster. Let's get all of the various telemetry and other details up on the screen for everyone's, especially actually more my, viewing convenience. It's like a fast formation lap. I don't know if that's just me or what. So basically, for the only real passing zone that exists on this track, you want to be looking at the end of the second DRS straightaway. Turn 1 can be pretty hectic here. I would be surprised if all 16 drivers got away from turn 1 without any damage, or without a spin, or I think even just without a safety car would be a bit of an accomplishment, because turn 1 here is a little bit on the nutty side. We might still be waiting for someone here. No, we're not. Alright. You have 4, 5 red lights. And the lights are away. And so are the cars away for the start of the Russian Grand Prix. And we already have a Red Bull in the wall. That's a disaster for the cars in the back of the field. Jonathan Parker already out of the race. And there's a VSC for Luke Treloar, who must have really cooked it off the start if they managed to spin like that. Alright, well, I guess turn 1 won't be the problem. We didn't even get that far before we had a DNF. Who's gonna get a penalty for speeding? It'll probably be somebody. He must be green again, and surprisingly, it doesn't seem like anybody got any penalties, so... Good news! For now. The track limits do that for you, not the virtual safety cars. Let me set my controller down and settle into this GP for a moment. The closest thing we have to an overtake right now, Cameron Dowds is right there, bumper to bumper. And never mind, Caden Bright is just gonna go for it maybe? No, he doesn't. No, now he is. Carter Ritchie went wide in that corner, and the Mercedes driver smells blood in the water. Meanwhile, in the back, Pacheco has overtaken the other AlphaTauri driver. A bad corner from Mika De Jong has allowed Adria to close in on him a lot, but there's not really much room for passing yet. That won't be until the next few corners, and there's the formation lap glitch. Trust me, this is the leader. Just ignore whatever propaganda the leaderboard's trying to feed you. It's not true. None of it's true. Walk up from Lee Kelly, that's always a familiar sight. Somewhere over the rainbow, Cameron Dow just sent it on Dylan Von Olsen and could not find space. Okay, now it's fixed itself. Now we are seeing the actual leaderboard. Matthew Stotts with the record time for a track warning penalty. Or track limit warning penalty, rather. I missed a word. Excuse me. DRS is in fact not enabled. Ignore that in the corner. There is no such object at the moment. Another pretty big run for Caden Bright. Does he try this time? He does. Can he stick it? He cannot. Because the inside becomes the outside. He's going to try again to the next braking zone, but Carter Ritchie is still remains ahead. Blue flags are on screen. That doesn't make any sense. Luke Treloar is still very far away from the rest of the guys. Now DRS is in fact enabled, and this is going to mix things up. All of the overtakes that we've been almost seeing, we are now going to start seeing them. Like this one. There goes Caden Bright on the AlphaTauri driver, and no contest. Nothing really much you can do with DRS in play. Tyler Boggs looking for a move through turn 3, but he finds nothing. Dowd's continuing to lock the tires. De Jong is seeing that the AlphaTauri is off pace. He will be next in line. He's on mediums though, so he's going to be going for a long time. Much longer than any of the other cars ahead of him will be going before they pit. He's kind of in his own little world, as all the other drivers that are doing so are still behind him, as you can see. You got a big run, big DRS, big ERS, big send on the brakes, and that's a position for the Renault driver. Jakunica will be next in line in the near future. More brake locking for their other Renault driver up ahead. And Lee Kelly continues to run fastest laps even with the ERS's intervention. DRS, not ERS. ERS too, but Dylan with no way to keep that Renault behind him. He just has to restrain that. Or not restrain, refrain. Wow. It's a new record, and we're only 4 laps into the race. There's a penalty for Carter Ritchie as well, to add salt to the wound. We got a bit of a scuffle there between Pacheco and Liam. He's grilled me on how to pronounce his last name before, and I already forgot, so I'm just going to try and refrain from using his last name. Kyra Boggs still desperately trying to find a way around the Alfa Romeo driver. Really, really slow through that corner. And that's certainly putting him under pressure from Caden Bright. Track extended penalty for Dylan Swiss Carpenter has pretty much made that move for Kyler. However, he's just going to get passed by the Mercedes of Caden Bright. And that's the end of that. There's, again, nothing really he can do to contest that. DRS is way too powerful. Unless you're running like 1-3 wings, which I don't know why you'd do that to yourself. Swiss Carpenter very loose, and he is just tagged, and that is ugly from the Alfa Romeo driver. And of course, F1 ever penalizing the victim has given Kyler Boggs a penalty for that, even though there was literally nothing you could do about it. Micah De Jong with a penalty for speeding into the pit lane. Presumably these two both have damage and therefore are immediately pitting. Into Knickel beginning to put his teammate under pressure, but I would be surprised if these two stay in this position. I would be at all shocked if team orders come into play in some respect here. The way that AJ was making that corner, I thought that popping up there was him getting a penalty, but no, it was in fact Matthew Stotts not got the track warning. Mo will follow suit with his own. And it's not super close at the front. Tristan Adams with just about full ERS, but making no effort to try and get around the Alfa Romeo ahead of him. Or at least no noticeable effort. If he is making effort, I mean he probably is. Maybe, I don't know. But I can't see it. I recover for a moment as still no ERS being used between either of these two leaders. At some point Dowd did wait, no, I was watching that. God, my brain, work with me here. Carter Ritchie is putting AJ under some pressure, which means that they probably can't execute team orders over there at Williams, or it's going to complicate matters with him. And Matthew Stotts is within striking distance of the other AlphaTauri driver, not too far back, but he does not seem to have the ERS reserves to make anything happen right now. Caden Bright is exiting the pit lane. Maybe he gave himself more damage, it's hard to really say. Thought his official word on it. Oh yeah, there was a comment I didn't look at. Oh, I forgot you were in Tier 2. You weren't in... How would I watch that? Oh my god. My brain, it is not working too great right now. No, it's not a reserve driver. Billy Targey's just not up here at all, and I'm just a fool. My mom was walking by, but as just caught on stream there, Christian Pacheco gets around AJ Knickel. I don't really know what prompted that, unless he made a mistake, because Liam's up here. I definitely missed the basement for commentary right about now. Things are just getting more and more spread out. The drivers finding their way into their sort of official positions on the racetrack. Sans qualifying errors. Now Tristan Adams is deciding that he is going to consume ERS a little bit. Possibly to make up for an error he had just made and wants to, you know, stay within striking distance of that Alfa Romeo. Liam has caught up to Swiss Carpenter with rapid pace. And remember, he is on the medium tires. I was about to say the softers. No, they're not soft tires. These are soft tires, I mean. Swiss Carpenter already a little bit on the watch list right now for his incident earlier. We'll see how Liam Angelo can deal with. I know he hates me. I know he doesn't want to be called that, but nah. Carpenter does not have much ERS, and so therefore it'll be an easy pass once again for Liam. It's really hard to resurge when you've been overtaken with DRS, so. And that's like the only place you can do it. You have to basically be drawing even at the apex of that corner, or else there's no chance of taking the spot back. Still remaining pretty passive at the front. Liam is working on tracking down the Ferrari ahead. Looks like Matthew Stotts is getting up to AJ Knickel here for 9th position. He doesn't have much ERS though, neither does AJ, so I guess they're about even in that front. I wish my mic had a mute button. I just muted it to cough there, and it was like a 15-second process. My apologies on that too. And see, soon enough, the soft tires are going to hit a cliff, which is only going to make Liam's journey to make passes only just that much easier with his medium tires. Not too far. Stotts is definitely in range here, but he has literally 0 ERS. This still will not stop him from getting alongside and running into AJ's rear tire, thus making no move. Also worth noting that Stotts is on the mediums to AJ's softs. AJ may be having problems with tire temperatures or something. This is not impossible. I assure you, at some point, these front two will start fighting over the position. I swear, it'll happen. And I can't wait for it to happen, but for now, they just seem to be kind of coexisting. Like they're working together on a NASCAR super speedway. This is not Talladega, though. As Swiss Carpenter leaves the pits. He'd already entered it a long time ago. Interesting call with Mikey on the soft tires. I guess he really took the sentiment of you don't want to be on the hards no matter what to heart, and he might be doing a two-stop here. Despite having started on medium tires, him getting involved in the incident between Caden Bright, Swiss Carpenter, and Kyler Boggs, didn't really give him any other options. Not to mention, he got a 5-second for speeding to the pit lane. So this has just not been his Grand Prix. Mo Alte also just spun into the corner we just watched Mikey De Jong drive through. I don't know if he hit a wall or not. He doesn't have any glaring amounts of damage, so I'm gonna go ahead and assume that he probably didn't. In goes AJ into the pit lane. So we'll give Matthew Stotts clear road ahead. Also pitting our 2 leaders and Cameron Dowds. They are just about to leave the pits. Meanwhile, AJ Knickel is just entering them now. Pacheco's got some time before he's going to have an issue with any of those cars, though. Matthew Stotts, on the other hand, maybe won't take so long. It is not the greatest pit stop for Tristan Adams, who lost a significant amount of time to Lee Kelly. He lost about an entire second, and that's not helping. Corner cut penalty. I would expect to see Carter Ritchie and Dylan Van Alzen into the pits this time. Yeah, you can already see he's making the motion. Same for the AlphaTauri driver. So, with that, Liam will inherit the lead. Now he just needs to make good his escape plan with the remaining time he has on these medium tires to break away from those cars, or catch them, depending on who it is we're referring to. He has to catch Dylan, and he has to remain away from Carter. Lee Kelly has arrived at Matthew Stott's back bumper. Of course, passing is always interesting at this track, but Matthew Stott just gets out of the way for him. Recognizes this is definitely not his fight with these front-running cars. Admirable, I suppose, but kind of surprised, to be honest. However, should they reach Christian Pacheco before he pits, I don't think they'll receive the same treatment. Another penalty for Dylan Swiss Carpenter. Let's look there with Matthew Stotts staggering 12 seconds of penalties, even if he is kind of, 15 seconds of, a wall and 15 seconds of penalties. He might have done real well enough too, but I don't really know if he's got it here. Ugh! He's buzzing the limiter at 37 miles an hour. That makes perfect sense. Let's see, well, I don't know what all was moving around there because nobody pit up front. Oh, it was Christian Pacheco being passed by Lee Kelly. That is what happened. Matthew Stotts has taken the hard tires. He does not have a choice. He did not get far enough to move to the softs off his medium stint that just came to an abrupt close. Tristan Adams will have DRS on the Racing Point driver ahead. Does the Racing Point driver even force it? He certainly does. I mean, I did say he wouldn't move, and I was correct. But he didn't have to. Tristan Adams got ahead of him with minimal issue anyway. Caden Bright with more problems. I saw him wide off track, and with no front wing to add to his misery. Not the best debut I've ever seen, but some parts of that not necessarily under his control. Brake nice and early. Why am I following a car that's got no front wing? Yeah, Mo Altai attempting to pass Luke Treelor for the position ahead of the stricken Mercedes. And really poorly missed final corner means that he's not really going to have a shot at him here. Kyra Boggs also is attempting to get around Matthew Stotts, but Kyra Boggs has no ERS. Matthew Stotts has about 50%. What's that yellow before? There's no one in that part of the track at all. Oh, Caden Bright has just entered the pits and retired. That is why, and the game is just confused. Cameron Dowds has caught up to Christian Pacheco. And now there's a VSC. Oh, because Matthew Stotts is DNF'd. Where has this ended up happening? No, he cooked it out of that corner, I see. Mo Altai got caught speeding under the VSC. And trying to reduce his margin to Luke Treelor ahead, he's instead just given himself more trouble. Or it might have just been the classic last second update on the Delta. That always happens. Tristan Adams has managed to claw his way back up to Lee Kelly in the meantime. And Cameron Dowds has dispatched of Christian Pacheco into the second DRS braking zone. More penalties for the AlphaTauri driver in the back. A big lockup for Lee Kelly. Even despite the urgency to get on with it and get 3 seconds ahead of Lee Kelly, no urgency from Tristan Adams to take this position away. Why do I still have that on my screen for? What am I doing?
Not terrible in here.
Oh boy.
You got a fan on, buddy?
No, I'm commentating. I mean, it's all gonna go out the window in a few minutes anyway, isn't it? This was not an hour. Oh, this made it incredibly awkward.
Well, you say you're gonna cut it up short.
What is this safety car for? Oh, the Red Bull driver is DNF'd.
Keep on trying to do it.
Huh? Oh, close that door, people. How are you getting penalties under safety car, my guy? Well, that's pretty much bailed out Liam Carrig here. He's got a golden opportunity to win the race, as now everybody near the front has pitted for soft tires. Actually, everybody in general is pitting for soft tires. And I'm probably having to cut the stream off early because of the air conditioner installation that I didn't know about an hour ago.